This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Books, PD products, science, fashion, and glam talk. From Bollywood to Hollywood, it's Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi, right here on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. And here's your host, international speaker, educator, award-winning entrepreneur, and best-selling author, Dr. Afshan Hashmi.
Hello everyone, this is your loving host, Dr. and best-selling author, Dr. Afshan Hashmi, live in Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi at 6 p.m. US Eastern Time. And folks, today I will be talking about the doomsday, and I have kind of related doomsday with science also because I have a scientific background. And before I start, I want to remind you that these are my two books. The first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And when this book came, there was a lot of research going on in Jugaad, the Hindi buzzword. And I have conceptualized Jugaad as thinking outside the box. The second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, was also an Amazon bestseller, and The Modern Mughal Mentality was Amazon bestseller as well as hot #1 new release. And The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection is also available, and this book is also Amazon bestseller, as and this one, Modern Mughal Mentality, was a hot #1 new release, and it is a tribute to India from where originally I am. And the second one is The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, and in a very creative way I have told what bioterrorism is. And today I'll be talking little bit about religion and science and how bioterrorism is related to that. Having said that, folks, and I want a movie or a web series made of Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, and I already have written the script, and if anyone is interested, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. Having said that, folks, let me talk to you about, before we start, let's do the Holy Quran, the reading of Holy Quran. And it says, repentance. Among them is many a man who says, grant me exemption and draw me out into trial. Have they not fallen into trial already? And indeed, hell surrounds the unbelievers on all sides. So this is little bit from the Holy Quran, and this one, it is this one. And from inside, it is this, like this. Having said that, folks, now let me read little bit about Surah Mulk, and it is sovereignty. On the day of judgment, all will see truth. Those who denied it in this life will thus realize that they had been astray and admit error of their ways, though it will be of no avail against the punishment of the fire. Says repentance is not accepted from those who do evil deeds. Still, when death confronts one of them, he says, truly now I repent, not from those who die as disbelievers, for those we have prepared a painful punishment. In a similar verse, the disbelievers even bear witness that they deserve hellfire, saying, yes, indeed, but the word of punishment has come due for the disbelievers. The door of repentance is thus open until the moment of death. As a hadith states, God will accept the repentance of his servant until his death rattle. And some of the people I have recommended to read Surah Mulk, because about Surah Mulk is that on the day of judgment, when you die, and on the day of judgment, these surahs will protect you when you die, and and the angels come to talk to you, we believe in Islam that then what happens is that these surahs will protect you. So it is very advisable to read these surahs. Having said that, folks, now I will go on a break and will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talkformmedia.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Chapter 2: How Jugaad Leads to Multi-Sector Success Stories in India, including definitions of the Jugaad Management Principle business model. Of the book The Modern Mughal Mentality: New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. Inspiration: True Jugaad is an inspiration on how to create products using technology that meet the price-value equation. According to a Harvard Business Review article featuring expert Prahlad and Mashelkar, most innovation programs are built on the assumptions of affluence and abundance. We see the rich and the young in both the developed and the developing countries demanding environmental friendly products and services. They also believe that affordability and sustainability are crucial to driving successful business today. New technologies and radical business models are important not only to penetrate mass markets in India but in the entire world. By reconfiguring all areas of the business structure, they will pull.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. OMG, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now! The world is depending on you.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
So, folks, this is the Fact Sheet 2024 Quad Leaders Summit, and it is from White House website. And it says on September 21, 2024, President Joseph R. Biden Jr. hosted Prime Minister Anthony Albanese of Australia, Prime Minister Kishida Fumio of Japan, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India in Wellington, Delaware for the fourth Quad Leaders Summit. So some of you must be thinking that why I am reading about it and how I am going to relate it to what the topic is, and it I will come later to that. And it is a very good thing which President Biden has done, and I commend him for his braveness to do this kind of summit, and it was a successful summit. But here it says the Quad is launching the historic Quad Cancer Moonshot, a collective effort to leverage public and private resources to reduce the number of lives lost to cancer in the Indo-Pacific, with an initial focus on cervical cancer. Altogether, the Quad Cancer Moonshot announced today is projected to save hundreds of thousands of lives over the coming decades. More information can be found here. So this is that. And now, folks, let me talk to you about there is a global health and health security initiative. In 2023, the Quad announced the Quad Health Security Partnership to strengthen coordination and collaboration in support of health security in the Indo-Pacific. The Quad Health Security Partnership is delivering on its commitment to strengthen the Indo-Pacific ability to detect and respond to outbreak of diseases with epidemic or pandemic potential, including through a set of new initiatives announced today. So this is one of the cancer moonshot, pandemic preparedness, and monkeypox preparation. So, I would like to address President Biden and Madam Kamala Harris, and also President Trump, and also VP candidate Vance. And I would like to know, because VP Vance's wife is of Indian origin, that do you have any research, going on clinical trial outsourcing? I have lot of experience in clinical trial outsourcing, although it is a very good initiative, and India has second largest FDA compliant manufacturing facilities. And but you should be very careful which company you have to outsource this, because there is a thing here. I have done lot of research on this, because some of the companies in India wanted me to be the representative of their clinical trial CROs here in Montgomery County. And when I did a due diligence on them, most of them did not tell me what is their patient pool. I had put up this question to RAPS, all in the RAPS panel, where all big companies were sitting there. Their VPs of regulatory affairs were sitting there, and they looked at each other, and there might be a video of that in RAPS conference, and President Biden and President Trump, you can get that video and see how they were responding. I went to India to see where I fit in, and how my company will be affiliated. I don't want my company to be affiliated with anyone who is not legal. I believe I am a brutally honest person, and I want to be like that, whether I make money or I don't make money. And it says here, the Economic Times says, see here, the Economic Times: controversial vaccine studies, why is Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation under fire from critics in India. In 2009, several schools for tribal children, and see this. In 2009, several schools for tribal children in Khammam district in Telangana, then part of undivided Andhra Pradesh, became sites for observation studies for a cervical cancer vaccine that was administered to thousands of girls aged between 9 and 15. The girls were administered the human papilloma virus HP vaccine in 3 rounds that year, under the supervision of state health department officials. The vaccine is used was Gardasil, manufactured by Merck. It was administered to around 16,000 girls in the district, many of whom stayed in state government run hostels meant for tribal students. Months later, many girls started falling ill, and by 2010, 5 of them died. 2 more deaths were reported from Vadodara, Gujarat. Just see, Modi's was it is where PM Modi was the chief minister. 2 more deaths were reported from Vadodara, Gujarat, where an estimated 14,000 children studying in schools meant for tribal children were also vaccinated with another brand of HPV vaccine, Sarvarix, manufactured by GSK. And it is very important. I'm not taking this company's name, but the company I did due diligence in India was minting millions of dollars. And I asked them to show the patient pool. They had some beds. It was in a remote area in New Delhi, and there was lot of it was like a village kind of a setting. I myself went there. It took me 3 hours to reach there from where I was. And when I went there, there were 3 4 beds which were vacant. And I asked them, what is your patient pool? They were not telling me the patient pool. And I read many articles on CROs, and they say that they bring tribal people who don't know anything. They just say that this is WHO or United Nations people who have come here, and they will give you free vaccine. And on 1%, in when I did that, it was long ago, through my previous company, Global Regulatory and Business Solutions. I was president of that, and I was doing regulatory affairs. I don't do much of regulatory affairs now, but I am regulatory affairs certified, which brings 5 years of experience. I would love to do some FDA investigations, if I can be involved in those kinds of investigations leading to that. And if Honorable Mary McGarland, if you are listening, then please make a note of it, that I want to be part of Justice Department if they are seeing some CROs in India, because through this, Melinda Gates Foundation will get money, and they were here in India. Just see what it is: a standing committee on health and family welfare that investigated the irregularities pertaining to the observation studies in India tabled its report a year ago on August 30. The committee found that consent for conducting these studies in many cases was taken from the hostel wardens. Now just see, the hostel warden signed the informed consent. Is it very fair? And there was a foul play I could see there, and I was after them, that show me. Then they came again here, and we met, and I met them in New Jersey, the executives, and they were after me, that take this position and we will give you this much money, just bring contract from USA. I said no, I will not do this, because I am not sure. And many CROs, the Merck, the bio Merck, all big companies here are outsourcing in India, and they go through this network. I don't know how their whether FDA investigates them or not, or what happens. Are the lobbyists involved in this, or how can they and what FDA is doing regarding these outsourcing clinical trials? Because uh, there has to be a mandate. The inspectors go there, and what report they bring, how they show the patient pool. So I would recommend President Biden and President Trump, before giving these and also Bill Gates, before giving these grants, see what is their patient pool and from where they are getting. Just you are saving some money, but you are killing those tribal people. This is so sad. When I investigated that, in 50 rupees they were having 3 or 4 drugs, diabetes, whether a person has diabetes or not, or whether a person has any like cancer or not, they were getting that. Then how can, when a clinical trial goes, only one medication you can take, otherwise, the body reacts. And this is not right. And this is my science background and my own investigation and my own research, and I would be more than happy to discuss it with Attorney General and his team, that why these CROs, and also FDA commissioner, I would love to meet you all and discuss this, that what is going on. And this is how it is related to doomsday is that you are killing people. So in doomsday everybody will be killed. So that's how I have related that. The committee found the consent for conducting these studies in many cases were taken from the hostel wardens, which was a flagrant violation of norms. In many other cases, thumbprint impressions of their poor and illiterate parents were duly affixed on the consent form. The children also had no idea about the nature of the disease or the vaccine. And it is absolutely right. The authorities concerned could not furnish requisite consent forms for the vaccinated children in huge number of cases. So now you are giving grant to kill these people. So this is kind of genocide. And PM Modi has been affiliated with genocide of Muslims in Gujarat. So that's what is he going to make another genocide of Muslims? So that's why in Doomsday I have said that. The committee said it was deeply shocked to find that in Andhra Pradesh, and in Andhra Pradesh, there are a lot of Muslim families and they are very illiterate or literate, and most of the CROs and all are not in New Delhi, they are in Andhra Pradesh. So I am seeing here the committee said it was deeply shocked to find that in Andhra Pradesh, out of the 9,543 consent form, which is informed consent form, 1948 forms have thumb impressions, while hostel wardens have signed 2763 forms. In Gujarat, out of the 6217 forms, 3944 have thumb impressions and 5454 either signed or carried thumb impressions of guardians. I have lost many of my friends and my relatives and very good professors and genius professors who were working at Aligarh Muslim University did not get enough COVID vaccine. So and one of my brother-in-law also died in that could not get COVID vaccine. So this is all a racket, I think, to kill Muslims, or whatever it is. So, PM Modi, I will not let you do another genocide of Muslims, and that's why I am bringing this in front in media, because this show will be syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners, So, and I don't want to be beaten up whole night by roping, because if I say these kind of things, then there is a way which they opened the Indian side, and India Secret Service drones start coming, which is illegal droning, and they start hitting me, and I am roped and I am beaten up a lot. So but I will not stop saying that. I will write to Attorney General if this thing happens, or to President Biden and President Trump. In Gujarat, out of 6217 forms, 3944 have thumb impressions and 5454 either signed or carried thumb impressions of guardians. The data revealed that a very large number of parents or guardians are illiterate and could not even write their local languages, Telugu or Gujarati. So just see what PM Modi is doing. He says I'm sure he must have told that he has a patient pool. And what is DBT doing? Department of Biotechnology, and Department of Biotechnology is office is in CBI, and I have visited when Dr. Bhan was alive. I haven't gone after that. What is DBT doing? What is ICMR doing? And I have got for my research grant from Indian Council of Medical Research, which is ICMR, and that investigates these kind of things. And when I went from here and I met the ICMR director, when I went to do this research under my company, and I was very disappointed the kind of people we had when I was in India and the one I saw. And now I read this, I am so upset that why can't these clinical trials be given to NIH, and they could do from clinical trials here or to local companies here? Why it has to be outsourced to that? Is this a genocide? So the grant Bill Gates will it be like a genocide of Muslims in India or tribal people in India? So please investigate that. And now the data that a very parents are illiterate, and so I said that earlier this month, taking us, and this is Economic Times, the Indian Economic Times, and this is by KP Narayana Kumar, ET Brio, last updated October 31st, 2014. So just think that this is there, and how come they got another grant to send it to India for another genocide under the supervision of state health. Okay. Month later, many girls started falling ill, and by 2010, 5 of them died. 2 more deaths were reported from Vadodara, Gujarat, where an estimated 14,000 children studying in schools meant for tribal children were also vaccinated with another brand of HPV vaccine, Siravirex, manufactured by GSK. Earlier, GSK is GlaxoSmithKline. Earlier in the week, the Associated Press reported that scores of teenage girls were hospitalized in a small town in northern Colombia with symptoms that parents suspect could be an adverse reaction to Gardasil. There is no adverse report. Like FDA says, like you have to do adverse report of every person. I don't know how this all could be possible there, and they got another grant. The committee found that consent for conducting these studies in many cases were taken from hostel wardens. Okay, I said that. The committee said, okay, I did that. Earlier this month, taking a serious view of the death of 7 tribal girls in the context of the observation studies, the Supreme Court asked the Drug Controller Journal of India, DCGI, and the Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, to explain how permissions were given. And I told you about ICMR. I got my PhD grant from ICMR, and ICMR was used to be a very, very good place during that time. But when I went to do this, I was very, very annoyed to see the director of ICMR. And also, I went to Drug Controller Journal of India's office, and as I told you, that office was so dirty. And there were consultants all over the place, and they were asking me, ma'am, have you come, can we help you, and I asked some of them that why do you need my help, what help can you give? Ma'am, we can get your things passed if you give me this much of money. So this all I have seen with my own eyes. And when I came out, there were monkeys, big monkeys, up, and they were coming up and down. I know that Hindu people, they respect monkeys, they respect Hanuman, but what is the point of having monkeys there? And I don't know what kind of diseases and monkeys used to attack people. I sat outside in my car, and I watched them for hours, that what is the behavior of monkeys, and they would come down. And so this is the DCGI office in India. So did anybody ask PM Modi that what are you doing that? And I would love FDA to open an investigation on that, or a Justice Department to open an investigation on that. Having said that, folks, now I will go on a break and will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talkformmedia.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. Oh my God, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for the outbreak of a monstrous infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now. The world is depending on you.
The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, Chapter 1, 1964 to 2018, and this is the sample track, and it is read by Dr.Afshan Hashmi. In a sprawling bungalow in Potomac, Maryland, USA, lived Dr. Honey Singh, a board-certified internal medicine and family practice physician, along with his beautiful wife, Baby Singh. Baby Singh was a fashionista and was funding women's causes through her Honey Babe Foundation. She had a ladies' book club by the name of Baby's Glam and Glitzy Club, which had many glam and glitzy ladies who were professionals living in Washington, D.C., Potomac, Maryland, Virginia, and even Beverly Hills, California, as well as elites from all of America meeting at her place on the last Wednesday of every month discussing various aspects of charities they wanted her and Dr. Honey to fund. In this club, there was a wide spectrum of career women. There were doctors, lawyers, actresses, business owners, and models, to name a few. In these book club meetings, members would come prepared after reading a book of a famous woman author, and that author was even invited from any part of the world to give her presentation, followed by a Q&A in this prestigious and elite gathering.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
Now let's go to doomsday, and in Islam, and that was the topic. I read the news today in the morning, so I thought let me do some correlation with the science. And then, according to Islamic astrology, the end of the world prophesies to be preceded by a number of signs, including the appearance of the Antichrist, also known as Dajjal. The Antichrist is one of the major signs of the end times. The release of Gog and Magog, the end of the world, is said to be preceded by the release of Gog and Magog, who will be destroyed by God in a single night. The appearance of the Mehdi. The Mehdi is a messianic figure who is expected to bring justice to the world. The coming of Jesus, the son of Maryam, is also expected to appear at the end of times. The rising of sun from the west, this is one of the major signs of the end times. The appearance of three enormous sinkholes. One sinkhole is said to appear in the east, another in the west, and a third in Arabian Peninsula. The appearance of the fire from Yemen. This fire is said to turn people towards their mahshar, which is the gathering place of the Qayamat. The removal of knowledge. The prophet says that the hour will not begin until knowledge is removed. The prevalence of earthquakes. The prophet said that earthquakes will become prevalent as a sign of end times. And this is an overview. So this is the source. So this is the source here, and I read it from here. I googled it. I googled doomsday in Islam. Now the next best thing is this book. This is like a very old book. I had my and it is Islam Secular by Dr. Rafiq Zakaria. I knew Dr. Rafiq Zakaria very very well. He was my grandpa's friend, and he was father of Farid Zakaria, and I would love to interact with Farid Zakaria, that how much Islam he knows. I would love to come on his GPS, and I know my grandpa and Dr. Rafiq Zakaria were very good friends. He used to visit my grandpa's place. So let's see this book. It says Lecture 2 is Islam Secular Modern Developments, and this is the book. As I explained to you yesterday, the concept of secularism, as it has grown from its original concept of being anti religion to a concept where respect for all religions is advocated and where discrimination on the basis of religion is not allowed to be practiced by a state on that basis. Islam, to my mind, is fully compatible with secularism. Now, when I talked of Islam, you must have realized that I talked more of the basic tenets of Islam and the practice or implementation of these tenets by the Prophet and his immediate successors. I have a note from one of the Hindu professors here who has posed a question to me. He asks, according to you, Islam is an exception to the general rule, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I never said that. In fact, I said that in practice, many of the Islamic tenets were defined by the Muslims in general and the ruling class in particular. If somebody is interested in this book, this is the book, and this is the book written by Farid Zakaria of CNN GPS, his father. Having said that, folks, now I will go on a break and will be back soon. Hello, viewers around the globe. This is Dr. Afshan Hashmi, live for her radio show at K4HD and Talk 4 TV show. And I just wanted to request you that please give me sponsorship if you want this show to continue. Having said that, friends, I will see you in another episode of K4HD Radio plus Talk 4 TV show, and if you give me sponsorship, I will give you very reasonable price, and also you will get lot of promotion, as this show is syndicated worldwide to more than 300 million listeners. Cheers and bye bye. So, signs of coming of judgment day, and it is from Wikipedia. In Islam, the Day of Judgment, or Arabic Romanized Yawm Din, the Day of Judgment, is the time when all human beings are raised from the dead to be judged by Allah as to whether they shall spend eternity in Jannah, paradise, or in Jahannam, hellfire. Belief in the existing of Judgment Day is considered a fundamental aspect of faith by all Muslims and one of the 6 articles of the faith. While interpretation of what the Quran and Hadith say about the end times are diverse and complex, the signs of Judgment Day arrival include disruptions in the order of both human morality and the natural world, but also the appearance of the saviors, Mehdi and Jesus, which is seen to represent the ultimate victory of the Ummah of Islam. In some senses, piety will be lost as music, wine drinking, usury, homosexuality, disobedience by wives, and fornication abound, and the earth will be destroyed. However, during this era, Isa, Jesus, and the Mehdi will also vanquish the Antichrist figure Al Dajjal, while Allah will eliminate the monstrous Gog and Magog, liberating the world from injustice and restoring Sharia. The signs have been divided into minor and major by commentators. They are reported in various hadith collections and described in commentaries of various medieval Muslim scholars, including Al-Ghazali, Ibn Kathir, and Muhammad al-Bukhari, among others. Islamic apocalyptic literature describing Armageddon or Fitna is often known as Al-Malama al-Kubra, the great epic, or in Shia Islam, Ghaiba, occultation. And now, folks, I will go on a break and will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Chapter 2: How Jugaad Leads to Multi-Sector Success Stories in India, including definitions of the Jugaad Management Principle business model. Of the book The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. Inspiration. True Jugaad is an inspiration on how to create products using technology that meet the price-value equation. According to a Harvard Business Review article featuring expert Prahlad and Mashelkar, most innovation programs are built on the assumptions of affluence and abundance. We see the rich and the young in both the developed and the developing countries demanding environmental friendly products and services. They also believe that affordability and sustainability are crucial to driving successful business today. New technologies and radical business models are important not only to penetrate mass markets in India but in the entire world. By reconfiguring all areas of the business structure, they will pull.
monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. OMG, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now! The world is depending on you.
And now, back to Dr.Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
Folks, before I go, I would like to say that please give me sponsorship, and I would like the Arab countries, if you want these kind of programs to be held in United States of America, I request King Salman of Saudi Arabia and MBS of Saudi Arabia to please give me sponsorship, and also Qatar, Bahrain, UAE. If you want these kind of programs to go, please, King and Queens listening, please give me sponsorship, and I would love, to be sponsored by them and do these kind of programs, because these kind of programs require lot of energy and preparation to do. Having said that, next week I will be talking more about doomsday. So if anybody is interested in talking to doomsday related to any other religion, what you think about it, what are your concepts about it, then please contact me at Dr.afshanhashmi.com. Having said that, folks, cheers, Khuda Hafiz, and bye bye, and see you next week in Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi. And this show is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. And after this show, I have another doco series, Dr. Afshan Hashmi doco series, and that is also syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. So if you want to sponsor that, you can sponsor that also. Having said that, folks, bye bye.
You've been listening to Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in live right here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Would you love exposure to your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And remember, if you missed any part of this show or want to hear it again, find our featured show on iHeartRadio or YouTube, where all past episodes are available on demand 24/7. See you next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on K4HD and Talk4 TV.